I'm Elaine Sheldon, and I'm a documentary filmmaker and interactive media producer. I'm here with my interactive documentary called Hollow, and it's a documentary project that collaborated with a community to tell a story of post-industrial America over the span of several decades, and how the community has changed. They helped shoot it, and we use data visualizations and user-generated content to bring the user into the story to make it more universal and relative. I grew up in West Virginia in a county that's really dominated by the coal industry, and I left after college. And in 2009 I got a book called Hollowing Out the Middle, What Rural Brain Drain Means for America. And it was this sociologist's viewpoint of brain drain in the United States, and I knew that my state was one of the most drained from its young people. They're left with an aging population. We have a higher death rate than birth rate in our state. And so I wanted to go back and explore what's happening in this place. And so instead of going to the exact town that I grew up in, I went to the county next door. And the reason I chose that county is it's a place that often national and international news uses to sort of parachute in and show all the problems in the world. It's a place that has a lot of low-hanging fruit, where you look around and it's easy to say oh, there's poverty here, oh, there's these issues, without really getting in deeper and getting to know people. And so it's a place I started earning trust and decided that it was going to be a much richer experience if they were part of that process. And so I went in initially thinking it would be a linear film about brain drain. And after one day of just meeting people and getting to know people and finding out about all this amazing historical archival sound and image, and knowing that data was used to typically tell the story of this community, that we could sort of turn all this on its head and make it interactive and allow them to be part of the process. There's basically two ways to create an interactive project. You go in with a plan and you get the media to fit into this platform that you're thinking about in your head. Or there's the hollow way of doing things, which is go in and collect as much material as possible for 6 months, and then put it all out on the table and say, how can we make a meaningful experience out of this? And the latter is what we chose, but it's also very difficult. You go through a lot of design iterations. And so the process of collecting was, I shot every single day for 5 months there. I trained people to shoot. It was photos, audio, video. I interviewed over 75 people, 30 of them made it into the final piece. And the final result was sitting down with Jeff Soik, our interactive designer and UX designer, and saying, how do we choreograph sort of these images to play out, to recreate the environments in this town? And that was one of the big goals. It was trying to recreate environments of this small town online. And so the final product is a mix of stills and video to create mood and atmosphere. It's an interesting thing that interactive works are expected to live on and on and on and on. Whereas a filmmaker who makes a film and they have a clear distribution route, whether they take the festival route or broadcast, whatever it is, and then it lays to rest, it goes into the DVD form. But that doesn't exist yet in the interactive form. So you have to think about that in your budget in terms of how you're going to sustain this. And so, and it gets more complicated with Hollow, because even though we created this time capsule of the summer of 2012 in McDowell County, West Virginia, we also created a community tool that they have access to update. So technically, the site could change every day, and that has to be maintained.